So I'm here to share with you one of my favorite events that I've never been to. I thought about waiting until the next one, but I might as well give this one a try and see how it goes. This is Wonfest. Wonfest is a biannual convention in Japan. At this convention, big companies like Good Smile, Koto For You, and pretty much any other big Japanese figurine company you can think of premiere and promote huge figures with big IPs. But the best part of this convention is the independent artists and collectives that make their own figures based off of both licensed IPs and original artwork. Just a quick warning, I'm going to let you know right now, 1, there is a reason this video is not made for people under 18, and 2, I'm incredibly biased on what are the best figures, so let's get into it. At this convention, you get scaled figures, non-scaled figures, posable figures, and you even get gacha. There is of course a lot of anime figures, but there are also more Western-focused IPs like Bloodborne and Elden Ring. I was a little surprised and disappointed to see that there are so many figures for mobile games, like Azur Lane and Grand Archive and Fate. I'm not really a fan of any of these franchises. Don't get me wrong, these figures are gorgeous. I can't really complain. But no matter how pretty a figure is, I don't really want to buy from a franchise I don't know. I will admit, I do have some questions. Is this a literal cowgirl, like a girl that is also a cow? Is she that in the game? Also, this figure is gorgeous. The pose is very interesting. Gives it a very interesting silhouette. For those of you that are very new to the concept of Wonfest, Wonfest doesn't necessarily mean they're announcing a full figure. Sometimes they just have an announcement, which is basically just a flyer with the character on it saying, yeah, we're planning on doing this, yay. Sometimes they have the completed figure, but it's not painted yet, it's just in grayscale. And sometimes they have a fully completed figure that's ready to go and literally hits the market the next day. We can't skip the bunny girls. Bunny girl figures don't tend to be very interesting unless they're fan-made. The only bunny girl I care about is Bunny Men. Ain't no place for some bunny twinks, we got some bunny men. This bunny man getting ready for his side gig after working hard in the mines all day. Sick and tired of the grind and really just wants to go to bed, but he needs to make that extra dollar, so he tucks everything in nice and tight, puts on those ears, and now he's gotta shave. Most bunny girls I don't really care for. Again, they're not really my flavor. Like this one's is okay. Wait a minute, this is life size. What? You heard me right. Wonfest is a festival of figures of all sizes, including life size. I love life-size figures. Every time I see a life-size anime figure, it reminds me that I aspire to relive my past life as an ancient Greek aristocrat that gets to go out into my garden and admire my beautiful life-size figures. Gaze upon my beautiful life-size figure of Venus in a bunny suit. And if you don't like it, then you don't have to hang out with me and my anime girls. There was a surprising number of Marin this year from My Dress Up Darling. I know it's very popular, but it was still pretty surprising to see how many of them there were actually announced. We've got a little bit of love for JoJo, and a little bit for Oshinoko. Surprised to see figures for Skip and Loafer. I thought I was the only one that watched that anime. It's very cute. I almost skipped over this little post until I noticed that there was a louse in the corner. I'm so happy to see all the love that Dungeon Meshi is getting. I am a huge fan of the manga, and I can't wait to see more of the anime. One of my favorites was this Megumin figure from the spin-off season of Konosuba. It's really beautiful, but I'm kind of a sucker for rainbow motifs on figures. You slap a rainbow on it and I'm all of a sudden in love with it. What was even more interesting about this figure was that it came from a company I'd never heard of before called Shibuya Scramble. I still don't really know much about this company, but as I was going through their catalogs, I recognized this one figure. It's hard to forget an anime figure with teeth like this. It's very unusual. Not necessarily in a bad way, it's just interesting. And no Wonfest is complete without at least a half a dozen Mikus. Seriously, how do Hatsumi Miku fans still have money? Thank goodness I'm not a fan. And even then, I still like some of her figures. They're just too cute sometimes. And this one is so unique and has such a nice aesthetic. I don't know what it is with clowns right now, but the clown aesthetic is really popping off. This one has gotta be in my top 5. It's so nice. Very hard not to buy this one. You also don't have to just expect new anime to get figure announcements. They also go back to classic franchises or franchises that are just very popular. Sometimes they go back to them for anniversaries as well. I was pretty stoked to see another Steins Gate figure, but it doesn't surprise me considering the last Steins Gate figure with a bunch of CCTVs was the biggest figure of the year. We also have several new Madoka figures, and you know, I'm not usually a fan of kimono figures, but these two were extremely eye-catching. And when I started to take a closer look at them, I realized that I think these kimonos are actual fabric, which I am super down for. I don't know how the fabric will affect the figure over time or how it will last, but it is really beautiful and I love mixed media in figures. We've also got the return of Overlord figures, specifically Albedo. We could go with other figures from Overlord, but I guess we can go back to Albedo. I can't really be mad since so many of Albedo figures are just stunning. One of my personal favorites and someone who has a shelf in my house is a Card Captor Sakura. When I tell you, I body slammed my keyboard as hard as possible the moment I saw this figure on pre-order. I'm only making it up a little bit. This classic image of Card Captor is burned into my memory, and classic Card Captor figures almost never get turned down in my house. I only buy the best Card Captor figures. If it looks even half as good as it does in the promotional images, I'll be happy. She'll be my new favorite figure on my shelf. Card Captor actually got a little bit of love this year. She got a few figures, as well as this absolutely adorable figure of her in the little yellow dress. It's amazing, and I'm also going to pre-order it as soon as it hits Amiyami. Wait, what do you mean this is a garage kit? What do you mean this is made by an independent artist, and I can't buy it? So I've already shown a few in this video, but a garage kit is a kit made by an independent artist. Literally, a figure made in their garage. Pretty self-explanatory. These independent artists sometimes create characters from well-known, already established IPs, and get permission from the companies to sell their figures at Wonfest, which is amazing. I had never heard of that being something that could be picked up before. The catch is that the artist can only sell these licensed pieces at the conventions. They cannot sell them online. So it breaks my heart to see incredible figures that I also cannot physically support. I will just have to support them endlessly through Twitter with all of my hearts. Sometimes these garage kits do get picked up by big companies and turned into more widely produced figures, but that's pretty uncommon. From this point on, I'm mainly going to focus on those garage kits, which are the best part of this convention. I love seeing Made in Abyss getting some love. It's an incredible manga. And the anime is top tier, one of my favorites, and I keep up with the manga religiously. So a lot of these figures, I had to do some extra research in order to make sure that they were actually garage kits, because to be honest, it is sometimes so hard to tell if they are garage kits or professionally made. That just goes to show how much love and care and talent is put into these figures. Not only that, but when I was first doing research into Wonfest, I was just kind of like clicking and saving all of the pictures that I just thought were really cool. So I didn't exactly get the artist names every time, so I had to go and figure out where I could re-find all of these pictures. Like, look at how cool these little guys are. Like, how could you not just immediately save them? And look at this little guy with his little trusty steed. I love these little guys, they're so cute. And it's this guy's whole personality, I love it. When it comes to the garage kits, you really have no idea what you're going to get. One of the biggest showstoppers for me this year was this piece. I recognize their work, it's very unique and distinct, but this piece was just absolutely stunning. Like, the little details on the dress are just hand painted. And you know, it just kind of hit a lot of personal favorites when it came to aesthetics on a figure. Like, we've got the soft dull colors, the rainbowy pretty hair, and of course the most important part, the cute birds. With that being said, this leads me into the best figures in this entire convention. These tiny cute birds with hats. I told you I was going to be very biased. I've been following this person way too intently, and every time these little birds come across my feed, they make me immensely too happy. And for once, these are actually purchasable because it looks like they've actually become real gacha. I can't quite buy all of them yet, but I can definitely buy the little crow with a hat. There is so many really cool little gotchas that get announced here that I feel like it completely overlooked. I say gotchas, but they're probably just small-ish toys. They don't necessarily all end up being gotchas, but weirdly enough, a lot of these little figures are more likely to become bought and sold to the public. I don't really know the logistics behind it, but I know that there are some here, like these little lizards. I know whoever makes these lizards has made multiples of these lizards, and they have been turned into a lot of different gotchas. That, or there's a lot of artists that make little lizards and reptiles. Also, this one wasn't from this year's Wonfest, but it's so funny. Look, he's like wearing a little hoodie made out of his shedded skin, which is so weird and cute and neat. Wonfest is such a wonderful and incredible celebration of 3D artwork and figures. I really look forward to going to the con someday and going absolutely bankrupt. I hope you enjoyed the video and this little dive into Wonfest. Let me know what you thought about the video. I think next time, I'm gonna go a little bit more risque and show off some of the real art. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this little look into my favorite convention that I've never been to. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you're interested in watching me model my own figures and paint my own figures, check out my channel. Until next time, see you later. Bye bye bye.